I'm Holly.
I'm Leslie.
And we would be dead. Leslie.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, Fiends. Happy spring.
Oh, it's so delightful out.
It is kind of. We're having like a real true New Jersey spring this year.
Sure.
2 weeks ago, it was 30 degrees. Last week, it was 90 degrees. Then it was a steady 45, followed by a horrible, unpredictable, windy mix of both.
Yes.
Beautiful. Everybody's going to get sick. So if you end up stuck in bed for a couple days, at least you'll have an extremely compelling episode or two to keep you company.
Ooh.
That's right. We're here to help. But before we get into this week's case, and it may well be a two-parter.
Oh, wow.
Listen, if the caption says part 1, then that's what happened.
That's it.
If it doesn't say that, then it's all here.
Isn't that wild? You guys know before we do.
It's really weird. Okay. It's long because there are a lot of details that I find to be very important. And I really needed to fact check the hell out of the timeline because it's reported in so many places. So we're just playing it fast and loose. We'll see.
All right.
But before we get into all of that, we do have a couple of updates.
Okay.
On some missing persons cases we have covered in the past.
Yeah.
So that's fun. First, as you all hopefully heard last week, James Branton, the main suspect in Caitlin Aiken's disappearance, was arrested on charges of child sexual abuse and child cruelty, among a few others in the same genre. And James has been the only suspect in Caitlin's case since she went missing. But authorities claimed that they did not have enough evidence to make an arrest or get a warrant to search his multiple properties. If you remember back, and we just reposted it, so hopefully you can, to our discussion with Lisa, she really, really thought that detectives needed to search his properties more and all of his properties, and that they had not really effectively gone into that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big win. And now, because now they do have enough evidence and they are able to do those things. Caitlin's disappearance, or I really hate to say this, her suspected murder, is not what James is in jail for, like I said, but he's in jail nonetheless. And he's been denied bail, which is
big.
That's huge. And the search is on with a reinvigorated sense of purpose from law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So it's really lit a fire under them. That's really good. And yes, being held without bail, as I said last week in our little update, means they have something rather big. Mm-hmm. Means they either suspect that if they let him out, he's going to flee, or he is a danger to the public.
Okay.
Yeah, so God damn, I hope they find her. And second, there has been a little update in the case of Brian Schaefer, who, if you will remember, was the 27-year-old Ohio State medical student who went missing after a night of bar hopping with friends. Just like take your mental Wayback Machine and try and remember that one. According to the evidence we all had for years and years, he entered the hilariously named Ugly Tuna Saloona.
That's right.
So funny. At around 1 a.m. and never left. At least that's what it looks like to most of us on this side of the official evidence and like the law enforcement barrier, right? That was the big thing about his case. There's no video of him leaving. We saw him walk in. He didn't walk out. Video of him entering the bar existed, but there's no proof of exit. And many people speculated that Brian got very drunk, wandered into a part of the Ugly Tuna that was under construction, and fell into a hole.
Yeah.
In like the rudimentary floor and walls. And in doing so, this falling, he hit his head, knocked himself unconscious. And then the next day when they came in, they sealed him up inside the wall.
Right.
Which is a wild theory, but everybody kind of went with it. It was a popular one.
Yeah.
There are other theories, obviously, but that one had a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And I remember reading it and be like, holy shit, I think maybe he is in the walls. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The police, for what I'm sure were very good reasons, never really argued with anyone either. They weren't like, come on, man, he's not in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I don't know. But now it appears that they never really thought that was true.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, no, we didn't think he was in the fucking wall. There is a new person of interest who is being investigated, a person whose name has not yet been released, but we do know they were on the police's radar for quite some time. And from what we can glean, the police have always assumed that Brian did in fact leave the Ugly Tuna that night. They're like, you can't see all the exits.
Yeah.
He could have gotten it. Like, he left. We all have always assumed that he left the bar and met with foul play after he left the bar.
That's hilarious.
That's what we think happened. And we're like, well, you really let us talk
I know. They really did.
a lot about this shit.
That had to have been hilarious for them.
I mean, if I were them, I'd be like, this is real fun.
Yeah.
But you can't. And again, I'm sure they were like waiting for somebody to reveal themselves with that. They were kind of setting a trap. And apparently the name they have is not one we've heard before either. So it's not included in any of our coverage of the case.
I feel like that happens so often.
It does.
These, yeah.
It'll be like, well, we never heard that. And the cops will be like, oh, we had that in our folder for 27 years.
Or it'll be like I don't know, like a match, like a DNA
match. And you're like, oh, nobody thought it was that guy.
Happened to get arrested like 20 years later.
They're like, oh, they blew through town and ran into this house and did this horrible thing. And then for 20 years, we were like, it's the neighbor.
I know, and the poor neighbor.
And the poor neighbor had to move. It's awful. It does happen all the time.
And that people are just like, I know I'm a shit, but I'm not that shitty.
I'm so sorry, neighbor. I really thought I was doing the right thing. Then the neighbor dies and it's awful. Anyway, we can discuss this one, and I would like to more at length over on our Patreon.
Okay.
So if you want more details, theories, and opinions about this development, you can head over there. I know it did come. The really funny thing about this is the new tip that they have came from someone reporting it to a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so weird to me that they didn't call any of the tip lines that are like on every single post and podcast about him. They were like, I'm going to tell this podcast in the comment section. What?
That's so wild. Was it ours?
No. No, it wasn't ours. And it wasn't, I'm kind of unclear as to which one it was. I think it wasn't True Crime Garage, which makes me sad because they did the most work on that case out of anyone. It's their local case. They were like, we used to play in this bar. This is our special interest thing. We have 6 fucking parts on it. And somebody tip-lined it to another podcast. I would be furious.
Yeah.
I would be so angry.
I'm sure the person that commented is just like, what's True Crime Garage?
Who are you? And they're like, okay. I don't know. I don't know if they're mad. I'm sure they're just happy that there's progress on the case. It just struck me as so funny.
They're mad.
I would have been like, I did all the work.
Yeah.
He's so mad. Anyway, that is our update section for today. This week, we're covering another one of our most requested cases, the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa. So many people wanted this one.
Yeah, to the point where I thought we already covered it. I thought this was going to be another update one. No. And you were like, no, we never talked about it.
Just an older missing redheaded boy.
Yeah. Another redheaded boy.
Yep. And this is a weird one, to be sure. First of all, I'm going to warn you guys, if you don't know this case, there's no resolution at all. And because we're talking about a grown man who left of his own volition, and he really did leave of his own volition, no crime has been committed. Like, Caitlin Akins was also over 18 at the time of her disappearance, but this is very different. This is like him driving his own car and like purposefully doing whatever he did, it seems. And she was, totally different case. All we have to go on in this case is a series of incredibly confusing and very random events, a handful of questionable choices that are out of character, and one baffling road trip. Then he's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like puff of smoke type shit. It's very strange. Now, for me, researching mysteries like this usually starts off with a lot of big, giant conspiracy theories that I am able to debunk while I watch the sad, probable truths rise to the top. Then I have to be the monster that tells everyone I just think the easiest and worst explanation is true.
Sure.
But not today.
No?
No.
Is it aliens?
No. Well, some people do think it's aliens.
Okay.
I can't believe you said that because I don't even mention it because I hate that. But next, if there's a part
That's why
two,
I'm here.
there's a part two. Leslie might be talking about aliens.
We'll see.
I'm just saying, you guys, it could happen. Oh, phew, there's a lot of missing person stuff going on this week. And as you might know, I think unsolved cases are by far the most stressful to cover.
Yeah.
Not only do they not have a resolution that makes my brain like just sizzle, like I need to answer questions, but also they feel so very important. Like it feels like you have to get the information on these. Well, I can't say the royal you because not everyone feels the same way, as I have learned. I feel like it is very important for us to get the information 100% correct because they're still trying to find this person.
Yeah.
And I feel like we owe it to their families to do that. That's why we don't cover a whole lot of them because they take me forever. But I never stop thinking about the ones that we do cover. And you can be sure that I, and you probably will too, spend the rest of my life just periodically looking for updates. I just want to know what happened. So we are invested once we're invested. And I don't know if you know this, but worrying and stress is not great for your skin.
It's not.
Face skin.
Stress is not good.
Yeah. Next to age, straws, squinting, and smoking, it's probably the number one cause of wrinkles.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've tried everything I can think of to give myself a little lift, bring a little color back into my cheeks, but nothing seems to work.
It's definitely not working.
It's so hard. This horrible, ferocious spring is not helping either.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm all out of options.
Oh, Holly.
Unless.
Yeah.
I have heard whispers, don't tell anybody,
okay,
of a super secret ingredient that may be able to cure all of our problems at one time. And you know we can't be doing stuff forever. It's got to be one and done.
Sure.
I've heard that all we need are just a few precious drops of...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
You said don't tell anybody.
Okay, but
should we not tell anybody? Should I whisper it?
This is like this is under the assumption that this bit we're doing is just the two of us.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, but I also have to let you know, though, I tell you this every week.
Leslie, I forget.
And it looks like you're not doing anything.
I'm not. I'm just I don't even have makeup on this week. We're not going to talk about how I look.
I'll tell you one more time, Holly.
What is it that we need?
Validation, a hill worth dying on.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That is what we need. And
that's
best
what we
of all,
need.
We need it. We really need it, you guys.
I mean, I have it.
I don't have it.
I'm feeling good.
Guys, can you just validate me a little? I'm like a sad little lump. Please.
Guys, please. I have to look at this every week.
It's awful. But do you know what the best thing is? Our fiends can give it to me, my sad husk of self. They can give it to me totally free of charge.
Are you kidding? How?
But how? You must be asking yourself and me. Well, I will tell you. Simply head on over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and or a friendly review. It really is the only way to move this podcast forward. Ratings and reviews equal attention, attention equals support, and support equals more and better content for all of you. But if you just can't wait for more We Would Be Dead in your life, don't worry. You don't have to. You can support us over on Patreon. Oh. There, for just a few dollars a month, you will gain access to our entire catalog of 30-minute horror movies, our special mini-sodes, our weekly after show, Host Mortem, which is available in both video and audio formats. Maybe you want to see our faces. Maybe I've made you afraid of that forever. Both are okay. You'll also get a special gift in the mail from us, get to participate in some giveaways, some merch deals, an on-air toast dedicated just to you, and more.
Wow.
We also have more exclusive content in the works for you, our beloved patrons. And if our patrons also have anything they'd like to hear, see, or, I don't know, experience from us, please never hesitate to let us know. We like a request. In all honesty, we are here thanks to our patrons, so come on over and be part of the We Would Be Dead family.
Sounds lovely.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And if all of that is a little too much for you, you can simply follow us on social media. We are at Would Be Dead Pod anywhere and everywhere you get your content. You can like our posts, share our posts, like and share our posts.
That's the best one.
It is. You can also leave us a comment, post about your favorite episode. Let us know when you're listening. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, Tell that one neighbor who would actually tell you if they saw your kid sneaking out at night. Other people might think it was none of their business and your kid might be mad and it might be awkward, but they did do the right thing because that's just who they are. What's their name?
It feels like a Karen move.
No.
No.
No, this is a good one.
A good neighbor.
They're doing a hard thing.
Okay. Linda.
Okay, yes. Yes, then your friends and Linda can become fiends and we can all hang out together. We won't drink too much or say anything too scandalous, but we'll still hang out together.
We love Linda.
We do.
Oh, Linny.
Oh, girl. I think that's now all I have in the way of news. And I did have some this week. It was a lot, but Leslie, before we begin, do you have anything else to add?
Well, Holly, yesterday, I tried to think of something and couldn't.
No updates on your side of the table?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, then. On with the show. It is 8 a.m. on Friday, August 30th, 2013. Karen Laspisa is startled by a knock at the front door of her Southern California home. But she feels immediately relieved. That knock should be her 19-year-old son, Bryce. Bryce is a sophomore in college, and he had seemingly decided to come home for Labor Day weekend after having some girlfriend troubles. So a lot of people mentioned that they think this is strange, that he's this semester just started and he's coming home. But in fact, my college did have a long weekend over Labor Day.
Yeah.
You went back for a week and then you could come home for 4 days. It was weird, but it did happen. Okay.
That's pretty normal.
People on the internet don't think it was normal. And I was like, no, but you get a long weekend for Labor Day.
Yeah.
Why is that weird? People thought it was weird. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because there were so many comments from people why did he leave? What was he doing? You do get a long weekend.
You get a long weekend. And if you can come home easily.
Yeah. Bryce's college was 7 hours away from their home.
Well, it's a long weekend.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But he had girlfriend troubles, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And he had this is a complicated road trip, as I said. He had seemingly been on the road since 11 p.m. on the 28th.
Okay.
Remember, this is the morning of the 30th. Okay, Labor Day weekend, traffic is bad. I assume in the Los Angeles area, it's even worse than it is down here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that bad. Bryce had been in contact with his parents multiple times throughout this strange and winding journey, and he didn't really sound like he was having any major health issues. He just seemed to be aimlessly driving around in a loop and stopping at rest stations. The last time Karen had heard from him had been around 2 a.m. the previous night, at which point, even though he was only about an hour from home, according to him, he said he was pulling over to get some sleep. You're an hour at this long, fantastic voyage. Why don't you just power through and go home? Honestly, the whole situation was incredibly out of character, and Karen was just glad to be done with it. She rushed to the door and threw it open, but instead of her handsome red-headed son, she was met with a California Highway Patrol officer. It seems that Bryce's car had been found lying on its side on the side of the road, and Bryce was nowhere to be found. Not a single trace of Bryce has been found to this day.
Wow.
Yes, there's obviously a lot more details in that story, but I just wanted to give everybody a little teaser. And the details of this case really do read like someone pasted 4 other cases together. And it's just reading different parts of all of them. So after that little summary for you guys, I'm going to proceed pretty straightforward with a timeline of events. Adding artificial drama or suspense in cases like this one is just confusing to me.
Sure.
So we're going to try and go straight through. But that means that this first one, if there's 2 parts, is predominantly set up. But it's very important that we know a lot about Bryce's life, family, and location. Yeah. Otherwise, the second part, we'll have nothing to refer to. So anyway, now to cite some of my sources this week off the top, because these cases are also particularly hard to research because there is such a dense glut of material and 90% of it is wrong. I read all the articles, all of them, and there were so many. I watched the episode of Disappeared, which is frequently referenced. Everyone talks about that. I listened to 5 separate podcasts about this case, and I did that to see who had outlier information so I could follow their threads through. I don't copy other people, obviously, but Everybody has a little bit of something different. And some of them had some real out-of-pocket, unchecked information to bring to the table. So glad I did that. I watched the interviews with Bryce's loved ones, the Dateline episode, the news reports, and then I went down a layer.
Ooh.
Descending into the bowels of the internet, first to Reddit for the absurd, and then to web sleuths for every single minute discernible fact, second by second. Both sources are important. You can argue with me about Reddit till the cows come home and you'll lose every single time. Never, ever, ever go into that pit believing everything you read. Like, we know this. You can't believe everything on Reddit.
We know this.
And make sure you verify any fact you even pause to think about. But while you're in there, I will say there is always hidden information on Reddit. 100% of the time. I've never found nothing.
Correct.
Let's put it that way. You just have to work really hard to prove what's true and what isn't.
Yeah.
So the next thing I did after diving into the bowels of Reddit was I cruised through Bryce's missing pages and all of his available personal social media. It's always a really surreal time when the person we're talking about has their own social media presence.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of walk back into their life.
Sure.
This is like early social media, so it wasn't as expansive as some other people are, but there was a fair amount of stuff. So if I say that Bryce said something, he said that thing with his own keyboard. Though it should be said that his mother does have access to his Facebook now and has, rightly so, turned off all comments.
Yeah.
It would be out of hand if she hadn't. But when we are covering a missing persons case, you guys, this is a little crazy information about me. I will read every single fucking comment.
Yeah.
They are also a strange and disturbing well of information that sometimes contain whole ass newspaper articles.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. So, on to web sleuths. If you're sleeping on this website, you need to get with the program. We've talked about web sleuths before. These people solved the Don't Fuck with Cats case, among others. They have solved a bunch of them. Web sleuths is like a forum that makes it available to crowdsource a large group of armchair detectives. And not all of them are armchairs. Some of these people are like retired actual detectives.
Sure.
And a lot of them are very good at it. In fact, they usually have too much information, which is why I don't use it as often. Because it's just too much for me to go through. But I do go there every time when we're dealing with missing persons cases. Critically, a web sleuth's timeline begins when the incident occurs. Usually these people will pick up a case the second it hits a police scanner. Sometimes it's before the news has even gotten it. And it unfolds over there on their forums in real time, minute to minute. And there are years of content on every case. When we covered Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I went all the way back to the beginning and I watched that case unfold like a soap opera by her friends and neighbors in real time. It was the wildest shit I've ever read. Watching that twist show up live, like just watching these people discover, like, oh shit, she wasn't sick. One of the craziest things I've ever witnessed.
Wow.
You can see it. You can go to, like, if you toggle back far enough and you have the patience in these web sleuth cases, you can see how people reacted in the moment, which I think is very valuable. And while there are plenty of theories over there, for the most part, the forums are just a shit ton of facts, all of which are cited, sourced, and fact-checked, then rechecked, picked apart again, and rechecked. You're not going to find stuff over there that's validated that isn't true. They are very good about that. And another added perk is that web sleuth people, they will be driving out to locations to take pictures.
Yeah.
They go everywhere. They will be manually clocking distances. They will have Google Street Views of every single place and a video of the drive that they took. They will show you every single thing and they will comb every corner of the goddamn internet. And this is not a secret mission either. Often there are police officers and family members alike who hop on the boards and engage. They have like verified experts in every case or people related to them. Hell, in the Abraham Shakespeare murder case, do you remember that one, the lottery winner guy? The murderer was in the web sleuths forums herself, spouting off tomes and tomes of nonsense.
Right.
The woman that was convicted of his murder, pages of web sleuths posts. Chilling. It's chilling to watch. In this case, Bryce's mother's brother, Brian, so Bryce's uncle, is very active on the boards. And he does, in fact, clear up a lot of major inconsistencies and helps fact check almost everything.
Okay.
I don't recommend sifting through everything over there. It takes a really long time, but it is worth it. He is often in direct contact with Bryce's mother and is privy to all the information that comes to her via law enforcement. So this was right from the source. With that said, let us bear in mind that nobody's parents know the whole entire truth of who they are and what they do. I'm sorry. As well as you think you know your kids and as well as I think I know my kids, we do not know everything.
Right.
And when a person goes missing, their loved ones cannot, and I repeat, cannot be the only contributors to their case and the only tellers of their stories. Now, I know that this is a hot take and the true crime community might be flaming out at me a little bit right now, but this is a hill I will die on. You cannot convince me that unbiased eyes, minds, and opinions are not often vital in seeing the bigger picture. This has proven to be true time and time again. You need eyes that don't love that person sometimes. Sometimes you need eyes that do, but I think both are equally important. Okay, so that's all my prep, what I did. So let's start from the beginning.
So see you guys next week.
Bye. I just feel in cases like this one where the information is such a swarm of hornets, I kind of have to explain what my methods were.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go from the beginning. Bryce David Laspisa was born on April 30th, 1994, in a suburb of Chicago called Naperville, Illinois. He was the only child of Mike and Karen Laspisa, who loved and doted on their little red-headed boy. Now, if you had studied this case, and I know a few of you have, you're probably, but actuallying me already. But hold your horses, guys, because here is weird and contentious fact that got blown way out of proportion. Number 1.
Okay.
Bryce is often reported as an only child, but he does have an estranged half-sister. She is Bryce's father's daughter from a previous relationship who lived with her biological mother full-time. As far as I can tell, Bryce's immediate family unit, so Bryce, his mother and father, rarely, if ever, saw her. And she was certainly not around when Bryce went missing. But she is real. How do I know that for sure? Aside from the web sleuth theories and answers from family members stating simply that Bryce was Karen's only child. Simple. She is listed in a family obituary with Bryce. It's there.
Okay.
We don't need to list her name, though. And she doesn't have any social media, which makes her basically an internet ghost. To which I say, good for her. Good for her. To be clear, I would not have bothered her if she did have social media, but I also wouldn't have had to work as hard to confirm her existence in order to squash the crazy Reddit version of this story. Because, oh yeah, there is an insane and likely AI-phrased post on a Reddit feed about Bryce from someone claiming to be his stepsister. She claims to have been abused by her father, the father they share, and therefore fled with her mother. Then when she was 13, her mother died, and she had to go live with her father and Karen and Bryce, who both the adults abused her and Bryce, and they were horrible parents who drove her away and then forced Bryce to leave without a trace.
Wow.
Obviously, this is nonsense. But it is given more attention than it should be given. Like, it is in a lot of places. People think they found a diamond in this one little post. But there is a kernel of truth at the center of it. And finding that out drove everybody following the case completely crazy when it was revealed. They're like, what the fuck do you mean there's a half-sister? We didn't know that.
Oh.
It doesn't play out.
But there's nothing there.
It doesn't
it's
play
just
out.
that he has a half-sister.
Yes. So the thing is, this giant internet, like, swirling conversation about this stepsister that has all of these horrible things to say, because it is in the comments of every post on him ever. Go see what a stepsister said. Go see what a stepsister said. He doesn't have a stepsister, and that post isn't real. He has a half-sister. She doesn't have anything to say. There we go. Okay. So to sum up, Bryce is really Karen and Mike's only child together. And he seems to have been raised as an only child, period. So stating this is not lying, okay? Okay. I am, however, comforted by the fairy tale future version of the story where, like, Bryce went to live with her and they're doing great and they're happy. That's not real, but it's nice to, think it could be.
Sure.
Moving on. Bryce spent the first 18 years of his short life in Naperville, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. And please do not pronounce it Naperville. Morbid did that, and it went pretty badly for them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Though, in all fairness, I don't think it looks like it should be pronounced Naperville. And even if it did, the phonetics are listed right next to the name in the wiki article.
Oh.
But that's just me. And I'd say Morbid is doing just fine right now. So
Yeah,
they recovered.
they're okay.
It's fine.
It's all right. I accidentally said Southington one time instead of Southington.
What are
I
you
was
doing?
quite embarrassed.
No good.
That was one that I heard later back, like when I was re-listening to the episode. I was like,
no good. No good. Anyway, since Naperville is the city that Bryce grew up in, we'll talk about it a little bit, even though it is not featured in the main timeline of this story at all. But it is on the peripherals. It does explain Bryce a little, I think. So Naperville is a city southwest of Chicago, located 28 miles west of the city on the DuPage River. As of the 2020 census, its population was 149,540 people. So this is a big one. Usually our towns are really small. Don't worry, there's a small town later on that's really tiny and has fields everywhere. So we're good. This makes it the state's fourth most populous city. It is a predominantly white city with the second most represented population being Asian folks. This is a dynamic I've not seen much. It's like 60% white people, 20% Asian people, and then like 5 Black people and Hispanic people.
okay.
It's a breakdown that I don't often see. The median income for a household in the city was $127,648. Not bad in 2020. And the median income for a family was $150,075, with the majority of the city's workforce working in healthcare or tech. The Naperville area is home to many retailers, restaurants, and shopping centers. There's a lively art scene, a historic district, and a host of other fun stuff to do. In case you are wondering, and you might be later on, Naperville is also a blue city, usually voting Democratic. Don't worry, we will circle back around to why that's important later. Naperville also has a relatively good public transportation system and an airport that is just 14 miles outside of the city limits. The district has excellent public schools, a host of private schools, and several colleges and universities. All in all, it sounds like a pretty ideal upper middle class place to raise a family. It's like a good one. And the people seem to be like doing pretty well for themselves. The drawbacks include weather and weather.
Okay.
So you have Chicago weather, which if you don't like cold and rain is probably upsetting.
Sure.
So by all accounts, Bryce seemed to have a lovely and normal early childhood. His parents have talked about vacations and school functions. Everyone agreed that Bryce was a talented artist who made friends everywhere he met. He was an outgoing kid, easy to talk to. There are pictures of him and his parents eating ice cream cones and posing during the holidays with their arms around each other. His parents look proud, and the three of them are always smiling. It looks very typical up until that point. Karen, his mom, has been quoted everywhere as saying that her family unit was very close, but she and Bryce were especially close. And she says that he told her everything always. Again, please hold on to that, Karen. But I don't think it's reasonable to ever believe your like 16 plus kid has told you everything.
Yeah.
They just don't. High school is where things got a little more complicated for Bryce. According to his parents, he got in a little trouble here and there and dabbled in some weed and a little drinking like a lot of teens do. And sure, he may have gotten into a little trouble, but nothing too crazy. I can't really tell you much about his freshman and sophomore years in high school, but his junior year is when things become way more of an open book, because it was around this time that Bryce got Facebook, and he really loves to talk. So I can tell you firsthand that what the trouble he was that he got in, and that it was more than little. Incidentally, I do not blame Bryce's parents for minimizing any of this, and wouldn't blame them either for having a totally different image of Bryce in their heads than the ones he presented to his peers. That is not their fault. And they could really think it was just a little trouble. That is your kid who is missing that you are talking about.
Yeah.
That's how high school is. You're not supposed to know everything. And if you add on the fact that absolutely no one wants to speak ill of their own child, let alone their missing child, that's just what they're going to say. So please, let's not expect them to talk about all the not so great times. Again, this is why it's important to have family and non-family talk about the case. Don't make them do that. The other thing is, people don't as aggressively search for kids that they think are bad, quote unquote. And I'm not saying Bryce is bad. He isn't at all. But people do be really judgy. And the judgy people tend to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
So I get it. I really do. Now, before we get into what Bryce has to say about himself, aka his social media, perhaps we should set the stage a little. We're talking about the early teens, roughly, late summer 2010 till summer 2013. Leslie, do you want to get us in the mood? Tell us a little bit about that time period.
I would love to.
Take us back to some fun times, won't you?
Yeah. So infinity scarves were everything.
Oh, Lord.
They were a required accessory.
When they're a little too small or a little too big, they're a nightmare.
Yeah.
Just saying. They have to be the perfect length or they are trash.
For real. For real. And I still think, so everything that I'm about to tell you are things that I'm oh, this was the era that I hit in peak trend for my age group.
You were out in the clubs.
Yeah.
You're in the club.
Well, I just mean and then this is where I stayed. I still think
yes!
I'm because I'll be an infinity scarf. Sometimes knitting. I'll be oh, maybe I'll make one of those. I'm
don't do it.
Stop.
Leslie,
no,
don't do it.
Nobody wants that now.
Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it.
Oh, man.
Anyway, skinny jeans, still love those.
Listen,
they work for me.
God, I miss them.
They were
really comfortable and flattering.
I wear them all the time.
I will get mocked by my child.
No, skinny jeans are where they're at.
Okay.
We were the start of leggings as pants.
I do wear leggings as pants.
And especially with long tops, though. That was this era
cover my bum. I don't want my stomach line out or whatever. Get out of here.
My favorite was going to Atlantic City and wearing the cropped leggings with a long dress that cinched at the
and
thighs.
Heinous ballet flats.
Oh, yeah. And your feet just hurt. They were worse than heels sometimes.
And they are not flattering on anyone.
No.
If you're sacrificing to wear heels, your legs look great.
Yeah.
Ballet flats make you look like a stumpy little gnome.
I know. Oh, so many stumpy little gnome
they were
pictures.
All gold.
I wore a lot of heels then.
Yeah, good for you. You were doing it. I did too. I never acquiesced to the ballet flats trend.
High-low skirts.
Oh, no.
Peplum tops.
No.
Right? Tribal and Aztec prints.
Oh, God. We were bad.
I know. Studded everything. Jackets, shoes, bags. I love bedazzling
All right, I
things
still love
too.
a stud on some things.
Studs are okay.
Yeah, not overdone.
Yeah. That was where studded everything, everybody could wear it. Now you're maybe you pull that off. And when you do, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Combat boots.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, this was my signature look, was an Ugg boot with a North Face fleece.
Oh, you were a Han Solo girl?
Yeah. Was I? Is that what that would be? A Han Solo?
Not the girls that are the Uggs, the pants, and the it's like a uniform.
Well, it's the Uggs. I think it would be Uggs or probably Uggs or high boots, jeans, and then the vest, what I'm wearing right now. But with jeans.
Yeah, it is what you're wearing right now. It is skinny jeans, knee-high boots, a vest, and a white shirt.
It's the millennial
you're
mom.
Wearing it!
It's the millennial mom. But no, the Ugg fleece was those black fleece jackets.
Okay.
Oh, I still loved mine. Mine was, I always got an XL Kids. Because I could fit into those and it was
nice.
$50 cheaper.
Yeah. I still buy kids' shoes sometimes. Whatever. No
I remember wearing galaxy print leggings and shirts.
have those too.
Yeah.
Oh, God, they were
I was just thinking about those. Mustache motifs were big, all the jewelry.
I didn't have any mustache stuff. I will give myself that moment. Score
snapbacks and Victoria's Secret pink gear.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Music was okay. We had a lot of EDM and party pop. So it was LMFAO.
Okay.
LMFAO. The party rock anthem was everything.
Nice.
Kesha, Rihanna,
okay, girls.
Drake, One Direction, Justin Bieber, Little Biebs.
Little Biebs
came out.
Little baby Biebs.
Songs like Call Me Maybe, We Found Love, and Thrift Shop were big.
Goodness.
some dubstep drops like Skrillex. YouTube covers and early viral fame culture was
We were just
coming.
living in Obama's America.
Sure. The movies and stuff at this era was like a lot of young adult dystopian stuff like Hunger Games.
Because that wasn't scary then.
It wasn't scary.
We were like, that could never happen. And now it's like America will have their own Hunger Games on the White House lawn.
We ended the Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, the part 2 hype came in. Avengers were kicking off. I remember all of the Jersey Shore, Pretty Little Liars, Vampire Diaries.
You better get you a bump it.
Oh, yeah. I was Snooki for Halloween.
I remember that.
I look so good. Speaking of that,
we knew each other at this point.
Tanning salons were still huge.
Ew, no.
We were coming. I feel like at this point we were starting to come near the end of tanning salons.
I never did the tanning salon,
but this was like still like peak tanning salon era. Less about like sunscreen awareness.
Sure. I mean, tanning still felt like flying too close to the sun for me.
Yeah. Oh, just like sometimes I'll drive by a tanning salon and I'm just like, that just sounds so good right now.
I'm so claustrophobic too that it was a nightmare for me to be in those things.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
We were just saying too, like, now if your kid gets sunburned, it's a very big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just fried like the legs for a while.
Yeah.
We're like the beginning of the sunscreen generation.
Everybody, like parents were like, well, get your first like burn.
That's right. Get used to it for the season.
And then you'll be good.
And then around the 4th of July, everybody is a fucking fire roasted tomato.
To the point where like, even though our like we now like lather ourselves.
Oh God, yes.
Like sunscreen, we still have that mindset. Like, well, I didn't realize it was going to be like this today. Like the first like big sunny day.
Oh, I've given that up for sure.
Know,
I am sunscreened every day, even if I don't go outside. I have sunscreen on my fucking face.
Not me. I should be better.
Get on the train.
I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. We have social media and internet culture. So there's like peak Facebook era. This is before it was like, didn't feel old yet.
Sure.
Right? Twitter was definitely just like an area to go for like vague drama.
Twitter was also like peak comedy back then.
It was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like if you wrote jokes, you were good at Twitter.
Right. Instagram was really only like grainy filters and like some food shots. Like that's where sometimes I still go back to thinking like, oh, you just post your dinner on there. And it's like so much more than that now.
Oh my God. Now it's like, what's your brand?
Yeah. Tumblr and like fandom things.
I missed the Tumblr wave.
That was, I think, like a younger millennial.
I'm too old for it. Yeah.
And if you were really into like fandom stuff, like if you,
However, I have experienced many other of our previous subjects' Tumblrs. They are very revealing. I did look to see if Bryce had one. He didn't.
Okay.
He's not the Tumblr like client anyway.
Yeah. And then Snapchat just launched in 2011. And we were all like, ooh, disappearing videos. What is that?
Scandal.
Vine had started a little bit later, like 2013.
Oh, yeah. Vine was like TikTok, but not TikTok.
6-second comedy clips. And then some like slang and stuff we would use would be like YOLO. We'd use swag or turned or turn up.
Oh, we were so turned.
Yes. Basic. I can't even.
I can't even.
Awkward.
We're all still awkward.
Hashtag first world problem.
Oh no.
Everything was a hashtag. We definitely
we didn't really get it. And you will see some of those in the post that I read.
Sorry, not sorry.
YOLO.
It's so cringy.
Oh, no.
And I'll just end with a couple of these. There's Jenna Marbles.
I still miss Jenna Marbles, man.
Everything.
Her like little greyhound just died.
Yeah, I know.
Tragedy. But they got married. Her and Julian got married.
Yeah.
I still check on Jenna Marbles sometimes.
Every now and then. She just like popped up in something. There were like viral videos like Shit Girls Say, Harlem Shake Trend.
Okay.
And then a lot of like do-it-yourself beauty gurus and like prank channels were like really big, like getting bigger then.
So I had my babies in 2011 and 2013. So that's why I'm just realizing right now, that is why I missed those things.
Yes.
I had babies.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. iPod Touch was still big
Mm-hmm.
at this point. And we only had the iPhone 4S and iPhone 5 around now.
I never had
We
an
were
iPod
starting to
Touch.
transfer out of flip phones. So like some people still had flip
I had an
phones.
iPhone at that point in time.
Yeah, I think I had a flip phone.
Did you?
I think so.
Honestly, if Will and I weren't married, it would have taken me forever to get an iPhone. I was such a late adopter to like tech trends, but Will is very early. He likes them. So we had iPhones like way earlier than I would have otherwise.
I don't remember when I got the iPhone, but it was a little later than...
I still lived on Village Road when I got one.
Yeah.
Just a trillion years ago, it feels like.
Yeah. Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then Starbucks was like big, going on like Starbucks runs with your friends.
That's still fun.
That was, I know, but that was like the real social activity to do.
Now I just do it.
Frozen yogurt shops everywhere.
Why were we doing that? It's not ice cream.
And then candid photos that were heavily posed were also big.
Oh no!
This is when we started like because we had more iPhones and pictures, and because like your pictures weren't coming out super grainy, so we were doing. I remember that like we were like okay like act candid, but it was like act candid.
That's so silly. Yeah.
And then we were like the first group to take like the group photos that or the selfies, but we weren't calling them that yet.
No.
But anyway, lots of things.
That's fun.
Eyeliner. Lots of eyeliner. Smoky eyes.
I mean, you can take probably my eyeliner out of my cold, dead hands. I have had the same. I have worn the same eyeliner.
Bangs.
Oh, I did have side swipe bangs.
Bath and Body Works, everything.
That's back, baby.
Yeah, it is getting
Bath
back,
and Body is
isn't it?
back. It sure is.
All right. I can keep going, but I'll stop there.
I know we could really dwell on that one forever, but it was a really nice immersion in that world because that's the world we're in. So here's what I learned from Bryce's Facebook posts. And like you said, this is peak early Facebook when you still were like, Holly is doing this. Like that was it sometimes, remember?
Well, it's not.
There was like a prompt.
It's not, right, but it's not early Facebook.
No, it's not incredibly early.
This is like Facebook is the place to be. Like Instagram would be early right now. So this is where, but we are like, everybody is actually updating where they are going, what they are doing. And we are also doing like albums for our nights at this point, like the photo albums.
Oh, photo albums. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
My God, why do we have so many of those?
Right.
Okay,
like Thursday Night Westies.
Who cares? Why? Okay. Yeah. No, but I do remember that. Oh, God. So anyway, Bryce, first the good things. He, or if you don't like these things, maybe they're not, but they're just things that he likes. He was a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I know we're in Eagles territory, so everyone's probably mad. He liked Wiz Khalifa and Waka Flocka. I just think it's fun that I had to say those things. And Gucci Mane. He liked lots of sports. He liked going to the gym. He was in good shape. I should say that. Like, I would not worry about him if like there were trouble. He worked out like a lot. He liked Family Guy and South Park. So
that's the time.
Yep. He also traveled periodically to Pittsburgh, California, and Arizona, sometimes to go to Cowboys games, it would seem. And sometimes he just like recreated there. I think they did have other family in California. So they had like some base there. He was also really good at drawing. He loved video games and had a killer smile. Looks like a fun kid. He smiles a lot and makes silly faces. And his pictures are fun. But he also loved to party. And he was not always on the right side of the law. Oh, and he got grounded a lot.
Okay. Tell me more.
Oh, but the statuses. The bluntness, confessional nature, and brevity of his status updates is really funny. And remember, this is like 2011, 2013. So we Facebooked differently back then. Now, I'll read you some of these statuses as we unfold the next couple of years. And this is my favorite thing to do because it makes me feel like I kind of know this person a little bit more. You just kind of like floated into their life a little. In this case, doing that was really fun. Like, his page is fun. His statuses are fun to read. His pictures look like he's having a good time. This isn't always fun, though. Dropping into people's lives isn't always fun. And y'all can guess over on Patreon or in the Facebook group whose life I did not love virtually dropping into. Sometimes it might surprise you. Sometimes it might not. Anyway, here's Bryce. These aren't all in order because it's Facebook, so it's backwards. And I'm just going to go by vibes.
Okay.
March 17th, 2012. Freddie goes too hard. Who's Freddie? The animatronic bear? A sports guy? We don't know. What we do know is that he should probably go less hard.
Yeah.
Thank you. March 5th, 2012, full week. I beat. A lot of E's and a T. Self-explanatory. He was beat.
He was B.
January 31st, 2012. 3 periods. He's in school. And I got 3 mushroom brothers, featuring a notebook illustration of 3 like cracked out looking mushrooms. And at the bottom, it's labeled in block print, 3 magical brothers.
Oh my God.
Is he referencing psychedelic mushrooms? Probably. Is this also objectively very funny? Yes. August 13th, 2011. Work 11 to 7. Paycheck. Fatty. August 13th, 2011. Cousin wedding at 7. Slapped.
What is that?
August 7th, 2011. If everyone was a ginger. ...
What? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. They're all one-liners. Like, oh, God. Okay, those are just a random sampling of the fun ones. Now on to the more relevant stuff. I just thought they were so funny.
Yeah.
First, Bryce was for sure arrested, and likely more than once. Here are some other statuses that confirm that. March 12th, 2011. Rolling papers plus dime bag equals getting popped again. Urban Dictionary tells me that getting popped means getting arrested.
Up.
It could be popped in the face like a punch.
Yeah.
It could be like caught by your parents. But Urban Dictionary is like, no, that means arrested for sure.
For sure.
You can't use it any other way. So I was like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm like, maybe I'm old, but this is not old for this. Okay. February 27th, 2011. Got caught sneaking out. Getting popped seems like my new lifestyle. It's got to stop.
Oh, no.
Okay, Bryce.
Linda. Maybe that was just Linda telling
Maybe it was
him.
Linda. She was like, get it together.
Yeah.
And that post that I just said is followed by a post on the same day that says, another weekend grounded.
Oh, man.
We also have January 28th, 2011. Damn, being grounded on the weekend blows. Listen, those are really funny. Also because he like got arrested and then was like, and I got grounded.
Yeah.
You got arrested. That's so much worse. Whatever.
Oh,
they're really funny, but they also tell me that his parents do care about him.
Right.
I mean, being grounded on the weekend does in fact blow, but your parents are teaching you consequences and they care about what's happening to you. That is an indication of good parents.
Yeah.
Not that I ever thought his parents were less than that, but like, I think those signs are important.
Yeah.
Now, one of these poppings or arrests was a big one. Bryce got his license on June 22nd, 2010. Hooray! But he didn't keep it for long. By October of that same year, he had lost his license for 9 months. Boo. And anybody who doesn't put this together, losing your license after an arrest for 9 months is a DUI penalty.
Right.
That's what that means. There's nothing else that could be. I don't, maybe you were high, maybe you were drunk, I don't know, but you were fucked up behind the wheel. That's why that's your consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce posts about impatiently waiting to get his license back. He's super honest about this. He doesn't hide it at all. He talks about doing community service. He has like 6 posts that are like, going to community service. It's fucking early, community service. But he's really only mad that it starts really early. He like doesn't want to get up, but he posts about like, I get it. I have to do it. This is important. And it's good for the community. And he says like, learn from my mistakes.
Oh my God.
I know. So he's not like, this is unfair. I shouldn't be doing this. He's just like, it's fucking early.
It's just early. It's hard being a hero.
I'm just tired, but I have to work for my community. So I think the groundings worked. So, you know.
Okay.
He then posted about getting his license back on July 7th of 2011. Hooray! But he also had to go to summer school that year. Boo.
Oh, man.
Somehow I think those 2 things might be related.
Sure.
And he had a tough time in the great outdoors that summer because on June 15th, 2011, he said, bit up to the max. Fuck mosquitoes.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Bryce, that's being a redhead for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And then before the school year started, he told us about his senior schedule. First period, PE. Second period, pre-calc with somebody named Nussbaum. Pre-calc, okay. Sociology with somebody named Keating. Lunch. Then his 5th period class is weather with someone named Patterson. His 6th period class is senior foods. What's that? With someone named Hood. Essay writing, And then early dismissal. Hell yeah. That's what it says. Then early dismissal. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Guys, I could read these all day. We can have a whole Patreon where I just read them. They're all so fun. Lastly, there are the posts about jobs. But his kid could not. He couldn't stay employed. He had a very hard time with it. On October 13th of 2011, he said, wow, fuck Ace Hardware. Let me go. No reason. Hashtag jobless. Hashtag. His previous job had also laid him off. Also, fuck Ace Hardware. I think Bryce seems fun, and I bet he could sell the shit out of some Halloween decor. Bad choice, Ace Hardware. Now, before we leave this period in time, which is a delight, we have to touch on our next weird and contentious fact that might get blown out of proportion. And this one has to do with that arrest. The one that I assume, and I more than assume, I can put together evidence that it is a DUI. There are articles that also say it's a DUI. But this next part came from Reddit, but it is even more ubiquitous than the last one about whatever the last one I mentioned was. Many people say that he was arrested for being in possession of MDMA, which is essentially like ecstasy's big brother. Here's the problem. None of these things are actually on any kind of police record for Bryce because he was a minor at the time of the infraction. And therefore, once he paid his penalty, paid his debt to society or whatever, the charges would have been expunged from his record. Once you turn 18, your crimes as a minor are gone. There is absolutely no way to confirm any of these things. But there is especially no way to confirm the possession charge. I don't know if that would have increased his sentencing in Illinois, if that's why he had community service on top of the 9 months. I also don't know what he blew into a breathalyzer or how fucked up he was on what substance or what happened. I don't even know what his sentencing was actually for. All I know is that his punishment is a DUI punishment. It's not just a holding drugs punishment. Does he seem like someone who might want to do some ecstasy? Honestly, yeah. But also, it's not heroin or like the date rape drugs. People online are really acting like him having ecstasy is like he joined the cartel. It really isn't that deep. It could have been an extra, but he wasn't holding like an intense amount of drugs. That would have been a very different sentence. He wouldn't have had his license suspended. He would have had some kind of like jail.
Right.
Anyway, just to clear that up, because that appears in credible news sources too, which I'm like, you guys can't verify that. What are you doing?
Right.
Maybe it's true, but also maybe it's not. All of these events happened before Bryce finally did graduate from Naperville Central High in May of 2012. And he did that on time. He graduated with his class. That's a lot of shit to slog through to still graduate on time. So good for you, dude. And after Bryce graduated, the minute after Bryce graduated, Karen and Mike, his parents, having retired from their jobs, decided that they wanted to move to Southern California. And you know what? Hell yeah, I get it. It sounds nice. But also kind of carpet pulley out for a child. I don't know how to say that. He's 18 though, so it's like a weird time.
Yeah.
They bought a house in lovely, sunny, normal, human level bougie Laguna Niguel. I have to specify the level of bougie because this is a suburb of Los Angeles, technically. So another level of bougie does exist right around the corner. Laguna Niguel is in Orange County. It might be Niguel. In this particular part of our country, they pronounce Spanish incorrectly and then keep it forever. Like Los Feliz.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't remember. But it's in Orange County. It's a really pretty little area. There's beautiful views everywhere. It is one of the first pre-planned communities. So everything you need with it is within arm's reach. There's beautiful parks. There's beaches. There's a Ritz-Carlton. What more could a retired couple want?
Right.
Honestly, what more could anybody want? That sounds great. Now, under normal circumstances, I would be telling you guys more about this location right now. But oddly enough, in this circumstance, what is technically considered to be home base is once again completely irrelevant. He didn't live in this city ever. The city didn't even have a hand in raising Bryce. So just know that it's nice. And they moved there and it was vastly different than where he lived before.
Right.
So after they decide to move and Bryce graduates, the three of them pack up and move across the country. And Bryce didn't have immediate college plans. So that's why it feels weird to me. It must have been crazy to just pick up and move across the country. But all of his friends were probably scattering to the wind too. And it's also a time in life where you're like kind of going out on your own. So you're like, are my parents including me in this or are they not? Because I don't know how long I'm going to live with them. It's just a weird time to relocate.
This was like my situation.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it weird?
It was awful.
See?
Yeah.
I'm not blaming his parents.
And I feel,
I'm just saying, like,
right. Like, I feel bad saying that, but that's where, like, to connect to this situation, it like messed. I had a lot to work through.
Sure. You didn't have a home base.
I didn't have a home base anymore. And my friends did, though. So, like, they would come home for the weekend.
And then you'd have to travel or you couldn't
and I couldn't go home. Yeah. And then, you know, the stress of, you know, I don't know if he ends up going to college, but it's like,
I'll get there in a minute.
Yeah. So it's like having to make new friends there. And then everybody's going home for the weekend, but you don't really feel like you're going home for the weekend.
Because you're not staying at your home.
You're not staying at your home. And then, yeah, it's a lot.
I'm glad that you confirmed that. Because to me, I was like, this must be so disorienting.
Yeah.
That's such a because it's a huge transitional time in a person's life. And transitions can be hard. You need to be grounded when you're going through the different phase of life. And if you're not, I can imagine it's a little topsy-turvy.
Yeah,
so you can confirm that. Once they landed in California, Southern California, Bryce decided that he wanted to study industrial and graphic design at Sierra College, which is a community college that is approximately 410 miles from his parents' new home, which, as I mentioned in the beginning, comes out to a 6 to 7 hour drive. We're going to round up to 7 because traffic is very prevalent in that area. This is an interesting choice, to say the least, because your life is then turned upside down, and then you don't stay with your only anchor. Your parents are your only anchor. You decide, I'm going to move 7 hours away from them.
Yeah.
I haven't even grounded myself in a home. I'm going to pitch myself somewhere else. All my high school friends have gone to the wind. Yeah, I mean, it's a very alone position to put yourself in.
But see, again, at that point, I would feel like you just don't know where you're at anymore.
Exactly.
So it almost doesn't matter. And to go to a school close to the new home also feels weird because you're just like, I don't know this home.
But then when you go back home, it doesn't even feel like it's home. You're going back to your parents' house.
You're just going back to your parents' house.
Which is to be that listless, like that anchorless at that age, which he doesn't talk about this on his hilarious Facebook, but I just feel like it had to have been a contributing force in his life in some way. You're just untethered when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, where are you supposed to go? You already feel untethered when you start college. It's weird to not be home.
Right.
So
I can also say too, this could also have something like you have so he's a drinker, right?
Yeah.
So I would say he has a social life, right? So to be taken away from that kind of social life and then to not be old enough to actually go out and drink and to like make friends with people like, so you're like, how do I make friends in this town where I didn't go to high school? And then also
and they
not
all
be
probably
old
did
enough.
go to high school together.
And then also not be old enough to go out to like a bar to meet new people or to work. Like it's a weird time.
And it's
like,
a community college.
I had a hard time making friends here. It took me forever, you know? Like making a friend.
And it's not people from everywhere. It's a community college that's far away.
Yeah, so then you also are only meeting people that...
They probably know each other.
Yes, they probably know each other. It's probably, not too many people are living on campus.
Yeah, so this is an interesting choice to say the least. Sierra College is a community college populated mostly, as I just said, by students whose family homes are within driving distance. That's kind of the aim. It's often used as a bridge school for students who are unable or unready to attend or choose their eventual destination university. They don't have that right out of high school, so you just go get some credits. You know what I mean? Like, community college is phenomenal for that purpose. And I mentioned this because most people do not live or travel long distances to their community colleges. It's just an odd thing to do.
They'll go to like their local community
And there were like 4 community colleges near his parents' house that he just didn't want to. And I mean, going 7 hours is intense.
Well, it could be maybe for the degree he was trying for, maybe.
Yes, okay. And I'm going to say yes and no, because I'll get to that in 1 second. But accessibility and affordability are kind of the main mission statement of community college, and they are set up to be as such. Now, California community colleges, this is interesting. I don't know if it's true in every state, but in California, They all operate as basically one institution with 116 campuses. So they're all related, but they have 116 campuses. They used to work almost exactly like an extension of the public school system. And until the 60s, they were districted, just like public schools as well. So when you finished high school, you could go to whatever community college was in your district for free. Basically, because you could drive there and take classes. And it was just like continuing public school, but you could get a higher education that way or learn a trade. Because junior colleges, which is what they used to be called, were also kind of trade specific in some places. But that's how they were designed. Not for traveling to them.
Right.
And they're all welcome to attend their local community college free of charge. But again, it's limited to your community. At least it used to be. It's not anymore. Now, California community colleges are dealer's choice for residents and offer remote learning options as well. They're there to give everyone access to higher learning, but they're not designed for like a campus life experience per se.
Right.
It's not going to look like you're like in Van Wilder or something. Most community colleges don't even have dorms. Sierra does, though. They're one of the very few that you can live on campus. I think there's like 5 of them in California, and they're one of them. But the dorms are not free. You do have to pay to live there, which makes sense. Hence another weird choice. You're going to go to a community college that your parents then have to pay $4,000 for you to live in the dorms.
Right.
Okay. Though Sierra does, in fact, specialize in Bryce's major. That is their biggest thing. And maybe he wanted to be a little further away from his parents. Maybe he wanted some independence and some distance, and he just likes what they seem to have to offer. It's also up near Sacramento. This is in like Northern California. It's like a totally different vibe than Southern California. So Karen and Mike are like, okay, ambition. We like it. They get Bryce a car. They buy him a 2003 Toyota Highlander. His mom says it's silver. The company says it's some form of gold or champagne. It's supposed to be like an almost sandy gold color. It's metallic. And if I just looked at the photos, I would also say it's silver. Just so you know, it's not, but it does look like that. They also set him up with a credit card that's connected to their account that he can use for any and all of his daily use and needs. I think they kind of like would periodically, I think it was like a debit system where they would periodically put money into his account. That's how that makes sense at that point in time. It's called a credit card in a lot of media, but I don't think that's what it was. That August, so he moves into his dorm where he is assigned a roommate, a guy named Nick. Okay. They live together. There is like a little bit of student life at Sierra. There's like some sports too. Like it has a little bit more of a like traditional college campus feel than other community colleges do. It's not like a series of conference centers or anything. They really do try to make it college-y. And that year he met a very pretty, slightly older girl named Kim, who was in her final year at Sierra. I don't think she was senior age. I think she might have done like an associate's degree there and then parlayed that.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, because she planned on furthering her education. I think it's Chico State. It's a state university in Chico, California, the following fall. Bryce and Kim started dating and quickly fell in love. All their like Instagram-y posts are like, kissy, kissy, I love you. And Kim's a peach. I haven't found a single thing out about Kim that I don't like. She's great. People are unfair to Kim online, and they should really lay the fuck off. You will see why later, but we like Kim. We're pro Kim. Now, while Kim is great, and Bryce did make a lot of friends, remember, he's like kind of easy to make friends. The rest of his freshman year was pretty rocky. He didn't keep all of those friends. He partied pretty much all the time, which is interesting. You say, like, you're just going to try and find any kind of way to socialize. And when you can't go to a bar, it's probably house parties.
Yep.
Where you're gonna fucking get blackout all the time. That's a dangerous time. So he did drink a lot. He did his share of...
And you're around people that you're not familiar with, really doing that.
Your boundaries just kind of...
And depressed.
And your boundaries just go into oblivion. You're like, I gotta be on par with these people. They don't know me.
Yeah.
Or impress
and you
them,
think
even
you're
worse.
Impressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do 800 shots. It's a nightmare. And he did his share of recreational drugs, and they smoked a lot of weed. His friends, I don't know if I have this quote in here or not, but there is a quote from his friends that were like, if there were drugs at a party, he didn't even ask what they were. He just did them.
Right.
Which I'm like, that's bonkers. But it also sounds like something you do to try and get a reputation as that crazy guy that will do any drug at a party.
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily sound like you're like desperately hoovering drugs off a countertop. It sounds like you're like, what's the party? What's good?
Like he's like looking for a personality.
Exactly. And we just read 100 of his Facebook posts. Like that's the guy. He's that guy that walks into the party and is like, Freddie goes too hard.
Yeah.
So like, okay. All right. I see the path that this is on. I see why it is happening. It doesn't mean that it's great. He also had a major falling out with his roommate, which lost him his spot in student housing, which is our next point of weird contention. It is reported in a lot of places that the two of them fought, got busted for drugs in their room, and then were evicted from their dorm.
Okay.
Then there's one woman, I think this woman is fake, but if she's real, speak up, who said, I was a parent near campus and I was in that dorm every week and I saw Bryce all the time and he was on the dean's list. Let me tell you something. Bryce was not on the dean's list. Okay. He had to go to summer school. Like coming up, he goes to more summer school. Like this is not peak academic performance. I don't know what this woman is talking about. But there is also a post in Web Sleuths wherein his uncle is like, Bryce was not evicted from his housing. He and his roommate had a falling out and his roommate like pulled out of living with him and therefore he lost his spot in housing. I also think there's probably a level of academia you have to keep up with possibly to maintain housing because they don't have housing for every student.
Right.
They have limited housing.
That doesn't make sense to me because his roommate pulled out, then they would either give him a new roommate. Mm-hmm. Why would he lose his housing because somebody else? I don't know the rules at that school, but that seems really weird.
I think that his family may be focused on the word eviction.
Okay.
When it was really a not invited back situation or something, because he wasn't like thrown out of the dorms midterm. He just didn't get to live in them the next year.
Okay.
So I think it was
he just didn't have a roommate.
Yeah.
And maybe there wasn't. Well, but then you don't need to find a roommate.
But again, there is limited housing.
Right.
They don't have housing for every student at this time. They do have more now. They just opened a bigger dorm.
Yeah, so maybe.
But at that time, it was like they had a few hundred students that they didn't have enough room for. And it wasn't a problem then because so many people were commuting from home.
Right. Okay.
But people could have wanted to live there.
Right.
It is muddy what happened. But what I can tell you is that after his first year, he could not live in a dorm room.
Maybe what happened was a little bit of both. If he had a falling out with his roommate, maybe they lost a housing situation and he had to be put back into a lottery because now he was solo, so it was different. And so they either would have had to find him with somebody or something.
Yeah.
And like his room wasn't secured anymore. And looking at his history there, maybe he wasn't invited.
Now, what I can also say of this specific housing is that it is like not party housing. It is a dorm that you get into with your ID. You are in like a dorm room. Yeah. There are common areas. There are dorm rules. There are lights out. There are all that shit.
Well, I can't see a community college having a party dorm.
No.
Regardless.
No. And a lot of people say that it was like a drug thing where he had drugs in his room. He was smoking weed in his room or something, which I could absolutely see. He was smoking weed in his room. They'd be like, you can't come back next year, dude. We know you're smoking weed in your room. And then the woman who said he was on the dean's list said that he probably got a strike against him for being too loud on his Xbox.
That's...
maybe.
That's weird.
I don't think that...
Well, but she's not credible anyway.
I don't think she is. I can't say for certain that she's not because I didn't even give her the time to look into her. But saying that she knew Bryce was in the dorms every week, even though her child was local, and that he was on the dean's list, to me feels wild.
Also, there isn't, for college, there's not summer school. He would have taken summer classes.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Because he also seemed to underperform academically, as it has been reported in more than one source that once again, he did have to retake some classes in the summer.
Okay.
So if you're doing partying all the time and you fail a couple classes, you got to keep up, dude. And he did that over the summer at a college that was close to his parents' house.
Okay.
So he kind of caught up then. But he didn't have a job. He didn't work. It seemed to be an understanding with his parents that they would finance his life as long as he got his education. They paid for his car, his insurance, his expenses, his phone. Not a bad deal. Not even over the summer. I think they really were just like, please focus on these classes. We're not going to ask you to do anything. Just go catch up, make sure you're on par with where you need to be and go back to school. Okay. That feels like the mentality to me. I know it's a privileged mentality, but it is one nonetheless, right?
Yeah. But also if you're back home to not what feels like home,
yeah,
he could be depressed and not wanting to go find work. And that could also be like some contention in the house.
Could be.
Like they probably also do want him to work.
I don't think they did.
You don't think so?
Not the way they have spoken in any interviews.
Okay.
His job was never mentioned. They never said they wanted him to have one. They never.
Yeah.
It was always like, we financed it. He had a credit card from us. We just kind of paid for him. It's fine.
Okay.
So I think they were quite comfortable, and he's their only child, and they were able to do it for him, and they really wanted to see him get back on his feet. So they were like, worry about one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Make this the one thing. Make school the one thing. If you're living in our house over the summer, you should be sober, first of all. There's no way he was like fucked up all the time in his parents' house.
Yeah.
With a place where he didn't really know anybody.
Okay.
And you have to take classes.
Okay.
I cannot confirm that was the living situation because we only have like kind of vague interviews about it. But that's how I read it.
Okay.
There are, of course, other people that were like, his parents put him on lockdown. He had to do this stuff. It was awful.
No, I think if he was on lockdown, they would have also locked him down to a job. Like they would have been like, here's your tight schedule.
Money. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be so busy you can't party.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Okay.
I really don't. And also like, there's like photos, not the photos, you can pose anything. But he doesn't look like a miserable kid on lockdown. He's like out doing stuff that summer with his parents. And his parents were like, it was the best summer ever. We had a great time with him. We did so much stuff.
Okay.
Like they just wanted to kind of be like, where's my little baby?
All right.
I get that. I mean, I'm not saying any of these plans or disciplinary actions are flawless, and we will talk more about them in the future, but this is how we're going to go right now. After spending the summer of 2013 with his parents, seemingly sober and bouncing back from his academic setbacks, Bryce decided that for his sophomore year, he would room with his friend Sean in an off-campus apartment. His parents thought this arrangement would work out fine. Bryce did have a car, and the apartment was close to campus, so wasn't that difficult to do. And then this is where the decelerating timeline of craziness kind of begins. Once Bryce is back at school, he just falls right back into partying like as hard as humanly possible. Twice as hard, some people would say. He was drinking to like kind of alarming excess, according to his friends. He smokes a lot of weed. And again, any drug he could get his hands on, he would just do it at a party. This is according to his friends. His parents do not confirm this. They don't think he did that many drugs. They think he just kind of had a good time at college. Maybe that's true. I'm going to let his parents stand on whatever they want to stand on. This is what I have read. He also brought his brand new Xbox with him to his new apartment. And again, if his parents were locking him down, I'd be like, you can't bring your fucking Xbox. You got to do school. But they were like, pack it up. Okay. And through his new adventures in gaming, he discovered prescription stimulants.
Okay.
Bryce did not have an ADHD diagnosis. He was not prescribed this medication at all. He was buying these pills so he could stay awake all night. Mm-hmm. Not to study, though. And he picked a really weird one. Vyvanse.
Okay.
Now, and I'll tell you why that's weird. I have no idea who is selling their Vyvanse, but it is, oh God, I don't know how to put this. It is the least fun ADHD medication.
Yeah.
For anyone that has a typical brain. It feels like someone was selling it because they were like, I take stimulants, everybody wants them, but like, not that one.
Okay.
So to be totally transparent, not recreationally, prescription-wise, I have tried all of the ADHD med variations for my very real ADHD. And so is my daughter for her very real ADHD. So I can tell you about all of them. Neither of us, my daughter or I, are still on Vyvanse, but for different reasons. Now, Vyvanse was formulated to be the non-addictive, upper-tastic stimulant-y ADHD drug. It's not supposed to feel like cocaine. So many people I would venture to say almost every person that covers this case is like, well, he was doing meth. It was like cocaine. He was coked up all the time. I'm like, you clearly have never done stimulants because they are formulated to not be cocaine, first of all, or crystal meth. They are like a meth product. I can see why you would say that, but it's not exactly the same.
Not the same.
Especially not Vyvanse.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. First of all, it was created in response to the Adderall craze. So everyone's like addicted to Adderall. Everyone wants Adderall. Everyone's selling their Adderall. And they're like, we got to make something that's less fun.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Vyvanse is also used to treat binge eating because you have no appetite on it. It like just kills that, which is why Violet had to stop taking it, my daughter. She couldn't eat lunch at school. It had totally killed her appetite at all. There are other reasons too, but that was a big one for her, actually. To be fair, all stimulants will affect your appetite, but Vyvanse, I feel like it really can target it. In addition to that, it's not as shimmery as other stimulants. I mean, like I'm like bridging into some drug culture terms, but like that's the only way I can really describe it, for me at least. And be fair, everybody's experience is going to be different. Everybody's brain is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. Everybody's everything is different. This is for me. And there are people who can relate to me on this one. And I do have ADHD, so it's going to be different.
Right. Okay.
So I assume for the average brain, if that is indeed what Bryce had, it would respond more fantastically to like Adderall. So why would you take Vyvanse?
Right.
There's a reason people sell their Adderall. It makes you happy and productive and like the most optimistic you've ever been in your life to normal brains. It makes me normal, but a version of normal that contains motivation, optimism, and focus. 3 factors that I do not have in my normal brain daily life. Now, normal people say it feels speedy and it keeps them up and awake. Some people use it to stay awake for days and days on end. I've definitely heard stories of people who abuse it that are like awake for like a health damagingly long time. And that's very, very dangerous. Sleep is important. Incidentally, people with ADHD usually don't use it for that purpose. Some of us take focus meds to sleep. A lot of college students do use it, though, to study. I mean, I use it to work, too, but without it, I'm a mess. Anyway, Ritalin is similar to Adderall, not as sparkly, and it comes with a bigger crash. I'll explain the crash in a minute. It's very important. And Vyvanse is at the bottom of the sparkle barrel. It also comes with a host of side effects for me personally and for a lot of other people. And the biggest crash of them all. Vyvanse gave me muscle spasms. It made me feel like kind of numb to the world around me, like kind of like packed in cotton. And instead of feeling lifted, like, okay, I can do things today, it made me feel like I was bolted to the floor, which is the opposite of what my particular brain needs. But I get how Vyvanse could be kind of a nightmare for some people. It can absolutely put you in like a hyper focus hole for 8 hours. No problem. That is Vyvanse's thing. You are not. The thing is, in my experience, you can't choose what that thing will be. It's whatever picks you first. Right. Whatever you start doing, you're not going to stop doing it. You're locked in. And if it happens to be a video game and that's your goal, you're not fucking stopping. You will play for 15 hours. You'll be hard pressed to even go pee. Vyvanse is also only available in an extended release formula. And it really does stick to those 8 to 10 hours. Some things say they're like all day and they're really only 6 hours. No, Vyvanse lasts. So if you don't like it, you are stuck with it for a very long time. Adderall and Ritalin come in immediate release formulas, and that's like a 4 to 6 hour window. So to me, this would make more sense for a recreational drug user. You want to use it for like a little period of time where you want to feel whatever, and then you're done. You don't want like 10 hours of it.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, I want to smoke weed and have it last for 10 hours. That's absurd.
I don't know.
I guess some people, but they re-up. They're not like this one dose. 10 hours.
Right.
You need to control how a substance is like affecting your body.
Sure.
At least most people who use drugs recreationally would like to. So Adderall is the closest to other illicit stimulants in its efficacy, period. So it's going to be the most like something you bought for fun, even though it isn't the same. It is the closest to it. So I get Adderall. I don't get the other ones. For my nosy friends, I take Adderall immediate once to twice a day because I like to have control of the time I have medication in my system and it's active. I feel like I have more control over my life being able to do that.
Sure.
So a 10-hour window is huge, man. And you better not want to sleep or something. Like, And it's also better for sleep and easier to take drug holidays, which is a fun term that just means you take a break from your medication. Because when you're on brain-altering medication, you need to take breaks.
Sure.
Or it will get used to it, and then you will need like a truckload of it.
Yeah.
Not good. Vyvanse. Drug holidays. I know. Drug holiday! So I feel like every time, except for it's the worst day, because I'm like, oh, I hope I have nothing to do. I have to schedule this for when like I can just be miserable and on my couch for like 20 hours. Oh, God. Vyvanse is also a completely different dosing world and like lingo entirely than other ADHD meds. You may take 15 milligrams of instant release Adderall or 30 of extended release Adderall and end up taking 60 milligrams of Vyvanse. It's like different and more. So you really can't gauge how much you're taking. It was very, when I took Vyvanse, I remember being like, oh, I have no sense of how much this is because it's not measured similarly to anything else I've tried. It's very different. And it's different in reference to like your weight, and it's calculated to like how big you are. You really shouldn't just be taking like any dose of Vyvanse. And because it can be so radically different dose-wise, if you have like any experience with other stimulants, it's harder to tell exactly what you're taking and if it is a lot. You'd be like, I don't know if this is a lot. Am I taking like a lot or is this like normal? It was very hard for me to tell. And also for me, I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but like the jump in dosage with Vyvanse was radically different. Like when you went up a dose, it was like, I felt ridiculous for 10 hours.
Right.
Whereas like slowly upping the dose of other stimulant medications because they seem to be a little less potent or something, it isn't as like jarring. You're not like, I feel crazy. Like,
yeah.
Vyvanse is a weird beast. I'm going to give it that. I simply have no idea why a neurotypical person would elect to take Vyvanse. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then there's the crash, which I'm positive no one warned him about. All stimulant medications are dopamine boosters. They're uppers. And what goes up must come down. So when they wear off, you can feel kind of poopy. Sometimes they make you sad. Sometimes they make you angry. It depends on your brain chemistry and your mood. Sometimes they make you frustrated. Usually they make you like mad. Usually you're like angry out of nowhere for a little while. Or when my daughter was little, she would have 20 minutes of like just crying for no reason. The rest of the day was so drastically improved that those 20 minutes were not enough to stop. And she said the same thing. But there was always a crash. You could tell when your medication wears off. For people with ADHD, the crash usually lasts for like anywhere from like 15 minutes to a half an hour, 40 minutes at the most. Like that's usually when you've switched a dose, and it lessens as you acclimate to your medication. But it is always there. It doesn't ever stop completely. Sometimes it comes with a headache or muscle aches or a sense of like a fog rolling in, because if you have ADHD, a fog is literally rolling back in. You're like, why can't I pay attention anymore? Yeah. I'm really hungry. That's the other thing. Your appetite comes right back. Right. So some people, like when kids go to school and they don't eat that much, they'll come home from school and just tear your house the fuck up. Yeah, they're so hungry. Now, if you have a normal brain, you're just going to have unreasonable feelings when you crash. Vyvanse is connected also to the most highest amount of unreasonable feelings. All stimulants can make you angry or depressed. If you're taking them under medical care, though, you will be notified of this. Right. They tell you to watch out for it. You can respond appropriately. You can then tweak your medication if you need to. You're taken care of. But if you're not under medical guidance, you're just going to lean in and be like, oh, I guess I want to die. Yeah. And it can make it that extreme. Vyvanse, it can make me miserable. It is an absolute miracle drug for some people, though. It is life-changing for people. I am glad it's around. And for people who need it, I'm so glad you have it. But I don't think it has a place in the world of recreational uppers. So it really surprises me that is what Bryce was buying. But he was using them to stay up all night and play games. His very last Instagram post there's only 6 of them. It's funny that you mentioned Instagram was so new because he doesn't really have many. Either he didn't have many or he didn't like post publicly a lot. Right. I don't know. He was popping and stuff, so I don't think he was thinking of his settings. But his last post was on August 27th, 2013, and it's a photo of him holding up a hard copy of Madden 25 for Xbox And it is captioned, "Get at me, motherfuckers! Get that hashtag Madden25 at midnight, hashtag leaderboards."
So much hashtagging.
So gameplay started at midnight? Started.
Right.
Unless it's like some kind of tournament. But either way, it's starting at midnight. Is this like an East Coast, West Coast situation? I don't know. And yes, of course, he had an online Xbox account, so he was playing remotely with others. Maybe he's playing with people in a Chicago area time zone. Still not that radically different. He does also list his handle in the Instagram comments, but according to everyone else in the world, it is no longer active. I don't know how to check that. And I draw the line at having my 12-year-old son check for me. So
sure,
we're just going to believe people. It is around this time that Bryce's friends start to widely report that he had begun acting strange and erratic. They're like, something's going on. I think he's taking like a lot of Vyvanse. He seems like really weird all the time. I don't know what's happening. And he stays awake for days. He's just not sleeping at all. We'll talk next week about what not sleeping at all does to your brain.
Yeah.
Because it's not nice. And they were just, something was just off, like profoundly off, not a little bit. Remember what I told you with Vyvanse? It's supposed to be 1 pill a day.
Yeah.
If they're saying he's taking more and more, is he taking more than 1 in a day? Because if that's the case, you're going to be kind of fucked up, especially if the person you're buying it from is giving you like a 60 to 70 milligram dose, because they could be. Right. I'm assuming he's buying it from a college-sized person who has a diagnosis.
Yeah.
So if they're a college-sized person that is a 6 foot tall, 170 pound boy, the dose could be real high, potentially.
Yeah.
And if you're taking like 2 or 3 of them at a time, you're going to be in a real weird headspace for a long ass time. And then when you come down, it's going to feel like you're sinking into like a pit of despair or rage. So
and if you already have those feelings,
it's going to amplify them.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't advise you to recreationally take someone's brain pills. But if you're going to, please take those like immediate release Adderall. Don't do this. Don't take somebody's long-term, I need big help brain meds. Don't do it. You're not going to be like, give me some of your antidepressants for fun. That's don't do that. Give yourself serotonin syndrome or something. Just don't do it.
Just have some chocolate.
Seriously, like
pet a dog.
Do something else. Just do, have a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A bloom is trending now.
Whatever you want. Have an Alani. That girl that died from Alani had 6 Alanis a day, you guys. Please don't. She didn't drink one Alani and fall over. No, that's all she drank. Only Alani. Her promposal, the guy made it look like an Alani advertisement. This was like her whole life. She loved it.
Yeah.
Don't drink that much Alani. Anyway. So we've established that this pill regimen and not sleeping could have like really catastrophic like effects, right? It's bad, horrendous consequences. Now on the 27th of August, the same day he made the like Madden Instagram post, Bryce texted his girlfriend Kim, with whom his relationship had seemingly been just fine. Some people say they fought off and on, but they were also 19 and 20-year-old or whatever who were dating. Like, yeah, of course they argued from time to time. But there is no reports that it was like bad. Kim was perfectly happy. So he texts her, attempting to just break up with her out of the blue via text. This is very out of character. That's not how they work. They're not like that couple that sends mean texts all the time and breaks up. Kim is totally blindsided. Seeing how Bryce had been acting, because told you his friends are noticing that he's like very different. She knows he's taking pills. She doesn't take this as like a serious breakup. She's like, you are out of your mind right now. I don't know what's going on. But she was extremely worried and sad. She's just like really concerned about Bryce more than anything.
Yeah.
And he did text her and say, no, we should break up because you'll be better off without me. These are bad signs. But he did still agree to come to her apartment to talk later. Then that event kicks off the most confusing 3-day timeline I have ever dissected, which is where we will pick up next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now you guys know all about ADHD meds. I feel it's very pertinent because people talk about it a lot and we'll get to why. But I think that having that basis of what that medication does, what its goal is and how long it lasts is going to be very...
No, that's very important.
...present. Like
For sure.
You need that. So, and we get to read all those fun Facebook status.
Yeah.
Why does nobody do that? They're so fun.
They're so fun.
So anyway, we will see you next episode with the second installment. And have a nice day.
Okay, bye.
Bye!
Thank you for listening to the We Would Be Dead podcast. Hit subscribe now to never miss an episode. Rate and review our show on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Would Be Dead Pod. And join our Facebook group to discuss the podcast and more.